If you are one of those who have grown up in a family where the mother or the father has been absent, then this video is for you. Psychological studies have shown that adults who have been deprived of a parent's presence are more prone to struggle with their own relationships in adult life. And with the term absent parent, we don't only refer to physical absence. Hi, I'm Vasi Sarandopoulou. I'm a psychologist, trainer, a speaker, and I'm here to share with you tips and insights from the psychology world. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss my videos on relationships and how to know yourself better. So let's see what we mean when we use the term absent parent. An absent parent can be one that has left the family for a variety of reasons. It can be because of work obligations and lots of traveling. A parent who works a lot, and yet when they are back home, they hide behind a newspaper or their fatigue, and they don't make time to reconnect with their family and to compensate for the long absence. It can also be because of divorce and separation from their partner, the other parent. Does this mean that everyone who has got a divorce is an absent parent? No, not at all. You can be separated from your partner and still be actively present in your children's lives. But in the case of an absent parent, we're talking about those who have estranged themselves from the family and they don't visit or meet their children often enough. Now, in these two cases we just described, the concept of father or mother, it depends who is the absent parent, is also not cultivated at home, which means that if one parent has left the family, the other one stops talking to the children about them, or they don't share anything, or they share some vague information about them, even though the children would have a lot to say and to ask about their absent parent, but they feel as if they're not allowed to ask. But somehow there's a veil of silence and mystery around this parent and their role. Children learn about this role in life only by observing their friends and their parents. Or in other cases, there's a lot of anger for the parent who left, and it is openly expressed in front of the children. Now, other reasons for a parent being absent are incarceration, hospitalization, loss of parental rights, abandonment, or even death. However, in many cases, the absent parent is not a physically absent, but an emotionally absent parent. It's the parent who is doing drugs or who's an alcoholic. And even though they are at home, they're not there. Their mind is somewhere else. Their life is somewhere else. They love something else more than their children. And the children can see that. It's the parent who struggles with their mental health and they can't be emotionally available for their children. It's the parent who is struggling with the loss of their parent or their partner or another child or a long-term illness of theirs. It's the parent who is a narcissist and is not able to emotionally connect and support their children, or a parent who is verbally, emotionally, or physically abusive. And it might come as a surprise to you, but an emotionally absent parent can be one who is working a lot, one that has to work long hours or work two jobs in order to support the family. So, in some of these cases, the children remember spending a lot of time alone at home or coming back home but without any warm food waiting for them on the table, or someone to drop them off or pick them up from school. In all these cases, the parent child relationship is cold, distant, or even non existent. The child feels abandoned, not seen, not understood, not viewed as important. But what's worse is that the child ends up viewing themselves as a burden and too different. Why is having a present parent so important? To name a few reasons. A parent's role is to be there and to meet the physical and emotional needs of a child. The need for unconditional love, connection, support, validation, comfort, and acceptance. The need for playfulness, fun, and creativity. The need for discipline and guidance. The need for education, but also for life skills. And do you know what happens when a parent is absent? Probably you have experienced some of these consequences already if your parent was absent. The child can't explain why this is happening, And in their own self centered mind, they find only one possible explanation: their parent is gone because of them. They did something wrong. They are too much. They are not good enough. They are not worthy of their parent. Therefore, their self confidence drops significantly. They suffer from guilt, and their self image is formulated around the idea that they're different since all the other kids have their parent, but they don't. But how is all this affecting our adult relationships? So, when we have never connected with one of our parents, it feels like a wound that is always open, like a tab on your computer that is always on, even though you're not working on it. The father wound, or the mother wound, as we call it. The wound that keeps all the questions inside us unanswered. Why me? How would it be different? What could I have done more? This traumatic experience makes us adopt beliefs such as people leave me, they always leave. I don't deserve love and attention. There's no time and space for me in other people's lives. Other people's needs are more important than mine, and I need to accommodate others and their needs. Otherwise, they will get upset with me, they will get disappointed, and eventually leave me. I'm not important. Now, imagine entering the relationship world in our adult life with this mindset, with these beliefs about ourselves. Here are a couple of possible scenarios that may occur. Feeling less important than others and putting their needs higher in our priority list leads us to people who take advantage of our kindness. Feeling less important is not something we're always aware of, so keep that in mind. Feeling less important comes together with shame, with the feeling that it's our fault for what happened, even though, as we said before, this is not true. But this is the narrative that we had created in our head when we were little. Feeling less important comes with a belief that we were responsible for the parents leaving or for their emotional unavailability, and we should always try to make amends for that. This is when we get attached to partners with narcissistic traits, partners who give us breadcrumbs while they expect everything from us, or partners who are emotionally unavailable, with little empathy and little space in their life for us. This is where we're trying to change the story, to change the ending for that childhood loneliness and heartbreak, and fix a person who needs us. And to add more to this scenario, these kinds of relationships are usually a never ending on and off with little stability, security, and predictability in them. The more we become clingy and fearless that we will lose this relationship and be left alone, the more imbalance and turbulence grows in this relationship. And the more we are afraid that we're going to fail in saving this relationship, and that's something we cannot emotionally afford once again, the more codependent we become. We try to please people. We say yes to everything. We are available 24/7. We sacrifice our dreams and hopes. And we are kind, but with no boundaries. Until the moment we feel unappreciated, disposable, and unimportant, and burn out. And then we protest, we nag, we get upset or resentful. But at the same time, we feel guilty for setting boundaries. And the vicious circle starts again from the beginning. Once again, this is not something that we are consciously choosing or something that makes us happy. We only subconsciously choose it because it is familiar. We have been there before and we know the drill. Another possible scenario that comes as a consequence of the absent parent wound is the one where we build a high and long protective wall around us and we don't let anyone in. Too rigid boundaries, too much disconnection, too much loneliness. This is us standing at the point where we have already decided that relationships hurt, people abandoned, and there's nothing else to do in order to prevent that. Therefore, we consider that we are making the best decision when we're not letting our partners come close to us, when we don't open up to them, when we don't rely on them, when we don't ask for their support, when we don't want any deeper connection with them. Every time our partner is coming closer, we feel suffocated and trapped and overwhelmed. It's not that we don't have feelings anymore. Oh, yeah, we do. But they are locked in a dark closet downstairs in the basement, together with all the other ghosts from our childhood. And the key is lost already for a long time. Getting back to feeling the feelings, allowing vulnerability and connection seems to be too much work and not worth the effort. Plus, we don't actually know how to do that because we never learned how to build connection. Also, do you know what we may turn into if we have been through the absent parent experience? An angry person. Yes, a person that feels that everyone is there to upset us, that life is unfair, that we always need to make a point about this unfairness, otherwise, nothing will change. A person who is highly mistrustful or critical of others and who gets disproportionately upset with small triggers. In reality, though, there's a huge amount of anger accumulated inside us for the parent who was not available back then. Our anger is totally valid. However, we never directly express that anger. So this feeling finds outlet in other people or insignificant or unrelated triggers. If you have grown up with an absent parent and now you have become a parent, you also may recognize subtle or even in some cases obvious feelings of overwhelmness around this role. You don't know whether you're going to be a good enough parent. You judge yourself, you overtry. In some cases, you overcompensate by becoming the exact opposite of your absent parent, which means omnipresent, too protective, too controlling, too perfectionist, trying to reach the unrelenting standards you have put on yourself. And there's also the other category of people who don't want to become parents because their own experience of being in a family was not a rewarding, fulfilling, or happy one. And they're afraid that they will recreate something similar. And since they don't want that, they're protecting their unborn kids from the deprivation and loneliness that they went through. It's sad to have experienced an absent parent in your life, but also it is something you can heal from. Therapy helps immensely. And I know it because I have witnessed it happening. In my company, in Anti Loneliness, we have supported thousands of people heal from their past and create the relationships that they wanted and deserve. And it's always a very emotional moment to look back together with the person that trusted you and to see the difference, the steps that have been made so far, the new perspective on life and relationships, and the freedom from all the past patterns. Also, self-help books help a lot. That's why I will add a list of them for the specific topic that we're discussing today. I will put it in the description so that you can start working with yourself and your past wound. I'm here, and I can help you and support you in this challenging and yet rewarding journey. Take a look at the Anti-Loneliness Academy that I have created for all those who are ready to dig deeper and to create more connection, more joy, and more freedom in their life. Add your comments and your own experience. That would be very insightful and inspiring for many. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel in order to get notified for my new videos where I will be talking more about relationships and how to know ourselves better and to heal. I'm grateful that you're here and I appreciate your support. Until next time, take good care of yourself.